بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد حدثنا أبو كريب محمد بن العلاء ومحمد بن الطريف الكوفي قال أنبأنا ابن الفضيل عن الأعمش عن عبد الملك بن ميسرة قال أوتي علي رضي الله تعالى عنه بكوز من ماء وهو في الرحبة فأخذ منه كفا فغسل يديه ومضمض واستنشق ومسح وجهه وذراعيه ورأسه ثم شرب منه وهو قائم ثم قال هذا وضوء من لم يحدث هكذا رأيت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فعل. Abdul Malik ibn Maysara narrates that Ali radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he was given a utensil of water and he was into the courtyard of Masjid-e-Kufa. So he took water from there and he washed his hands, he gargled, he did rinse his nose, he wiped his face and his arms and his head with that water, and he drank water from the leftover of this wudu water, and he was standing. And then he said that this is the wudu of that person who was not in need of wudu, who had not broken his wudu, who was already into the state of wudu. And this is how I have seen Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam doing. This is how I have seen Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam doing. In this riwayat, or in conclusion, we can say that person who had already wudu, water is given it to him, to Ali radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And whatever he did, he performed a light wudu. Because into some other narrations, it is being mentioned. And Muhaddisin, they said that it is the same incident, that he washed his feet also. So if we want to conclude nicely, Ali radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he is in a state of wudu. He is into the courtyard of Masjid-e-Kufa. And according to commentators, it was his court. It was his Darul Qadha. He used to provide justice to people. And if we remember, Ali radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he had moved his capital of Khilafat from Medina Munawwara to Kufa. So it must be in that duration, in that time. He is being given water. He takes water and then he washes his hands and he gargles, he did rinse his nose, and he's taking water and he's like making masah or wiping his face and his arms and his head. And that is only mentioned in this riwayat. But into another riwayat, it is being mentioned that he washed his feet also. And then he said that this is the wudu of that person who was already in a state of wudu, who had not broken his wudu, who was not in need of wudu. This is the wudu of that person. And then he narrated that same action or same things I have seen Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam doing. So he copied Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It is like wudu alal wudu. You have wudu and you make wudu onto the wudu. So that will be light wudu. because you are already in a state of wudu. So that has been mentioned into this riwayat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us correct understanding of Quran and Sunnah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us ilm of every ayat and every riwayat. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala free Masjid al-Aqsa and people of Gaza and people of Palestine. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala change their mazlumiyat into in'am. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala change their imtihan into in'am. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ya awwal al-awwaleen, ya akhir al-akhirin, ya rahim al-masakin, ya dhal quwwati al-mateen, ya dhal manni fala yumannu alayk, ya dhal tawl, ya dhal jalali wal ikram. لا إله إلا أنت زهر اللاجئين وجار المستجيرين ومأمن الخائفين يا مأمن الخائفين إن كنت كتبتنا عندك في الكتاب أشقياء فامحو عنا اسم الشقاء فامحو عنا اسم الشقاء وإن كنت كتبتنا عندك في الكتاب مقطرا علينا أرزاقنا فامحو تقطير رزقنا وحرمان رزقنا واكتبنا وأثبتنا عندك سعداء ووفقنا الخير فإنك تقول في كتابك يمحو الله ما يشاء ويثبت وعنده الكتاب. اللهم إنا نسألك فعل الخيرات وترك المنكرات وحب المساكين وأن تغفر لنا وترحمنا فإذا أردت بقوم فتنة فتوفنا غير مفتونين فإذا أردت بقوم فتنة فاقبضنا غير مفتونين. اللهم ارزقنا حبك وحب من يحبك وحب عمل يقربنا إلى حبك. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم ارزقنا حبك وحب حبيبك صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم علمنا الكتاب والتأويل. اللهم فقهنا في الدين. اللهم اجعلنا من التوابين واجعلنا من المتطهرين المتطهرين واجعلنا من عبادك المخلصين المخلصين واجعلنا من الذين لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا وحبيبنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك.